To control the population every 15 years, God releases millions of monsters. Humanity tries to fight them, but the monsters are too strong and people can only hide. The film begins with the so-called First Judgment Day. From the depths of ordinary minds, hordes of monsters emerged, killing millions of people and destroying cities. A real war began, and eventually the monsters were exterminated. On the sites of the former wells, protective installations, gates, were built to protect people from future invasions. 15 years have passed. The world has managed to recover somewhat from the trauma. Laura, one of the survivors, works at a school. She has a persistent but unsuccessful male friend named Milton, whom she frequently rejects. This is likely due to her resentment towards her ex-husband Dave, who was absent during Judgment Day, leaving Laura pregnant to survive on her own. Laura and Dave have a 15-year-old son, Tyler, who spends his days at the skate park with friends and his girlfriend, Maddie.
But your beautiful smile has entirely distracted me.
He also plays computer games and is a pawn in the difficult relationship between his parents who separated right after his birth. Meanwhile, tensions are rising. An eclipse is approaching, which is a sign of a possible monster invasion. Additionally, seismic activity has increased. Protective Dome personnel are conducting emergency checks, and troubling news reports indicate mass fish extinction. Just like before the First Judgment Day, migration patterns are also repeating as they did 15 years ago. Tyler is at his dad's place for the weekend when Dave receives a call from his old friend, Ted. Ted believes the new Judgment Day will be tomorrow and insists that Dave urgently take the family to his shelter before the eclipse. At the same time, the first monster appears under the protective dome, quietly sneaking up the stairs. Laura calls Dave, having seen the news, and demands he bring Tyler home. Milton has reserved a shelter, which Laura believes is their only chance of survival. Dave reassures her that Tyler is safe with him, but Tyler receives a text, reads it, and quietly leaves the house while his father is on the phone. Laura panics, believing Dave's house is unsafe, and insists Tyler must come to her immediately. Dave agrees and goes to Tyler's room, but he isn't there. Milton urges Laura to hurry as the shelter is filling up. She explains that she can't find Tyler. Milton uses his phone to locate him at the skate park, where Tyler is with Maddie. Maddie, scared and alone since her parents left, pleads with Tyler not to leave her.
Don't leave me.
Tyler promises he won't abandon her as his father did. Suddenly, a flock of birds flies away in panic, and people in the park start running. Dave, caught in a traffic jam, leaves the car behind and searches for Tyler. Under the dome, a worker checks the instruments and hears strange sounds. A monster appears, attacking and killing the worker. Soldiers nearby shoot at it, but ordinary bullets are ineffective. Tyler and Maddie watch in horror as chaos unfolds. Dave arrives and Tyler explains he couldn't leave Maddie alone. Laura and Milton arrive, taking everyone to the shelter where seats have been reserved. With just over an hour left before the eclipse, the city is in chaos, and the shelter is surrounded by military personnel who admit only women and children.
Keep it separate. Men over here, women and children on the other side. Let's go. Women and children only.
Dave asks Tyler to take care of his mother and sends them to the shelter, while he and Laura remain in the crowd. Tyler tries to enter the shelter but runs back to his father. Laura and Maddie follow. Tyler shouts that he won't leave his father. The shelter announces it's full and they must leave. Dave suggests going to Ted's hideout in the desert, but Milton proposes hiding at the nearby school, which has a basement.
I know where we're going. We're going to go to the school. It's only a few minutes away.
They encounter another traffic jam and exit the car. An earthquake starts and the eclipse begins. Under the dome, monsters emerge, crawling and flying through the city. Dave wants to leave the city, but Milton insists on using his car, leading to an argument. Milton is then grabbed by a flying monster, and Laura screams as Dave stuffs her into the car, trying to escape. They drive along a canal, but the car is running out of gas. Dave spots several cars ahead and gets into one, finding an elderly man hiding in the back seat. As a giant bull-like monster approaches, the man distracts it with salt, allowing Dave to return to Laura and the kids. The bull attacks and kills the man, but Dave drives away. Monsters swarm the city from all sides. Dave drives through the mountains and arrives at Ted's hideout, a concrete bunker with cameras on the roof. However, no one responds to their knocks, and Ted is found behind a monitor with a gun to his neck.
Teddy, we are here.
Hey, Uncle Ted.
I'm
We're here.
here.
David, knock again.
Ted!
Monsters herd along the mountain towards the shelter. Dave grabs a tire iron to protect his family, but the bunker doors open just in time. Inside, Ted introduces his wife Stella and a military acquaintance, Corporal Garrett Jensen. The monitors show monsters trying to break in. Garrett explains that monsters react to light and heat but believe they can see souls. He shares his experience from the first Judgment Day, where he survived in a pond of salty mud. Garrett reveals that he found the hideout and survived by hiding there, though Ted was against letting him in. He will survive again, he says, no matter the cost. Tyler tries to take Garrett's gun, but Garrett throws him aside. As a centipede-like monster enters through a window, Ted rips it off Stella's neck and Dave shoots it. They manage to fend off the other monsters. They tie up Garrett and try to stop Stella's bleeding. Dave realizes they need to leave the bunker as a huge bull approaches. Ted refuses to leave, believing Stella will not survive outside, but Stella insists on going, mentioning an underground passage to the mountains. Garrett offers to take them with his car, insisting he'll help if they agree to forget everything afterward.
And they got safe rooms for personnel, but I can get you all in. All of y'all.
They arm themselves with Ted's weapons and escape into the tunnel as the bull breaks down the bunker doors. On the way, Stella becomes ill, and Dave and Laura argue about whether they should have stayed in the shelter. Tyler spots a dead monster, but tentacles from another monster grab Maddie, who is rescued by Tyler and Dave. Garrett's help is accepted and Dave cuts his ropes. They reach the top of the mountain, where they see the burning city below. The car won't start, and monsters appear on the mountain. Stella draws her gun, understanding she's doomed, and walks towards the monsters despite Ted's pleas. They escape just in time, with monsters chasing after them. They pick up a radio signal reporting that most shelters have been destroyed. Laura comforts Dave as they reach the gate, which is open but needs power restored. Garrett and Dave work on restoring electricity while the others search for a first aid post for Ted's wound. Garrett explains the gate was prepared with salt, but the well was too deep. They hear monsters and find a bloodied corpse. Garrett suggests hiding in a chemical warehouse with impenetrable doors. A monster attacks Garrett, and he injects himself with something before running through a door and closing it behind him. Dave returns to his family, asking Tyler to protect his mother while he sets up a saltwater defense. Laura kisses Dave, urging him to be careful. Dave uses ventilation to reach the monster and manages to fight it off with salt. The others are surrounded by monsters, and Tyler is running out of ammo. Dave's voice comes over the loudspeaker, asking them to turn on the fire alarm. Jets of salt water hit the monsters, causing them to crumble into dust. They are saved, but Ted is dead. The eclipse ends, and the monsters retreat through the gate. Garrett stands with a gun, preparing to shoot Tyler, but Dave intervenes, saving them. A huge monster appears, devours Garrett, and they use a salty mixture to destroy it. Laura and Dave embrace, relieved to be saved. Although the world is ravaged, the monsters are gone and life will begin anew. Light will always defeat darkness. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next video.